Amid the hoopla of all the top phone launches from Apple, Samsung and the recently released Google Pixel 3, Huawei had its own ideas for how to wow its user base with features not found on any other phone. Even though its latest Mate 20 and Mate 20 Pro won't see wide distribution in the West, with most of its phones slated to release in China, the company had a few tricks up its sleeves to differentiate it from the big names. Welcome back to QatNip, and come on, let's learn together. What kind of unique features are we talking about? Well, you can use your Mate as a wireless charger for other phones, for starters, and that means that if your Mate is plugged in, you'll be able to charge other phones wirelessly. It has Face ID, but it also has an on-screen fingerprint sensor, something a lot of people thought might come to the newest iPhones, but instead it's the Huawei Mate that has the feature. The Mate also has 3 rear-facing cameras, one each for telephoto, wide-angle and super wide-angle shots. These are all interesting features that make it a worthwhile contender if you live where Huawei phones are available. To break it down even further, let's stack up all the top devices, being the Huawei Mate 20, the Mate 20 Pro, the iPhone XS, the Google Pixel 3 and the Galaxy S9 up against each other on the basis of their specifications on paper. So starting with the display, the Mate 20 comes with the largest display of the lot at 6.53 inches and having an effective resolution of 2240 x 1080 pixels, which we can consider Full HD+. The same though goes for the Pixel 3, but with a much smaller screen at 5.5 inch but somewhat flexible and OLED display. And on the other hand, when we come to the Mate 20 Pro, it has a 6.39 inch 1440p display having an effective resolution of 3120 x 1440 pixels and hence a higher pixel density than the Mate 20. A similar resolution comes on the Galaxy S9 but a little smaller on the vertical, being 2960 x 1440 instead of the 3120, but with a smaller screen as well, being 5.8 inches and hence having a higher pixel density. And lastly, we have a very odd combination of vertical and horizontal pixel numbers on the iPhone XS, having a 5.8 inch Super Retina OLED display with an effective resolution of 2436 x 1125 pixels. Considering their sizes, we might next question the weight that each one comes with, and here we have the heaviest of the lot being the Mate 20 Pro at 189 grams, with the Mate 20 coming second with 188. The lightest of the lot is the Pixel 3 with the smallest screen of course at 148, with the Galaxy S9 at 163 and the iPhone XS at 177 having the comfortable mid spots. Moving on to software, all the Android powered devices run Android 9 out of the box except for the S9, which can be upgraded of course, and the iPhone XS of course comes with the latest iOS 12. Moving on to optics, if you're watching out for the highest pixel counts, the Mate 20 Pro has highest pixel numbers with the 3 cameras having 40, 20 and 8 megapixels. Moving on to the next triple camera setup on the Mate 20, it has a rather moderate number at 12, 16 and 8 megapixels. On the other hand, the iPhone XS, which offers a more common nowadays dual camera setup, offers dual 12 megapixel sensors, whereas the rest two, being the Pixel 3 and S9, have single sensors being 12 megapixels each. Flipping the phones to the front, we have 24 megapixel sensors on both the Mate 20 and Mate 20 Pro, with a 7 megapixel sensor on the iPhone XS with Face ID and dual 8 megapixel sensors on the Pixel 3, whereas there's once again a single 8 megapixel sensor on the Galaxy S9. For video capture capabilities, all of these devices can shoot 4K videos at 60 frames per second at least, which is thanks to their flagship internals being the Kirin 980, which was recently launched for both the Mate 20 and Mate 20 Pro, the Apple A12 Bionic on the iPhone XS, and the top of the line from Qualcomm, the Snapdragon 845 on both the Pixel 3 and Galaxy S9. But do remember that the Pixel devices have always been known to underclock their chipsets in order to reduce heat and hence user discomfort. So this might result in somewhat differences in performance in extreme tasks but not in day-to-day activities. That being said, the Snapdragon 845 in the S9 is clocked at its default clocks being 2.8 and 1.7 GHz, whereas the Pixel 3 has it at 2.5 and 1.6. So there's a considerable underclock on the Pixel 3, as it is evident ever since the original Google Pixel with the underclocked Snapdragon 821. But on the other hand, the Galaxy S9 has another version with its in-house Exynos 9810 processor clocked at 2.7 and 1.7 GHz, again octa-core having 2 clusters but exclusive to the African and Asian markets. So all flagships here and no compromises, as all these are premium devices and not to be considered cheap. Moving on to storage, the Mate 20 and Mate 20 Pro both offer only one option, being 128GB storage, whereas the rest 3 offer a minimum of 64GB, and on the upper hand, the Pixel 3 offering up to 128, the Galaxy device offering up to 256, and the iPhone offering up to a whopping 512. For RAM options, all the devices come with a base model with 4GB of RAM, with the Mate 20 having a 6GB option and the Mate 20 Pro having an 8GB one. And if you're looking out for even more storage with expansion, the Mate 20 and Mate 20 Pro offer expansion up to 256GB, whereas the S9 offers expansion up to 400. And for the other two devices, being the Pixel 3 and the iPhone XS, none of these two are expandable. Moving on to the battery capacities, the Mate 20 Pro comes with the highest rated battery at 4200 mAh, followed by the Mate 20 at 4000, followed by the S9 at 3000, being nearly marginal to the 2915 on the Pixel 3, but quite ahead of the measly 2658 mAh on the iPhone XS. Coming on to security and locking feature, all the devices offer some kind of face unlock, with the iPhone XS having the most secure one with its IR sensor as Face ID, whereas the rest of the devices offer standard camera-based face unlock, which is only possible in bright lights. But on the other hand, there is a fingerprint sensor option which is missing from the XS but present in all the rest, stationed at the back cover of the S9, the Mate 20 and the Pixel 3, but the Mate 20 Pro having an exception with an in-display fingerprint scanner. As we talked about battery a little earlier, the connector to charge these powerhouses are all USB Type-C, with of course the iPhone XS being the exception here with its own proprietary Lightning connector. And of course the biggest disappointment of all, none of the devices support a 3.5mm headphone jack except for Samsung's S9, which might not be the trend anymore starting next year, as its latest flip phone is known to be missing the headphone jack as well. And it is really very shameful for a company to mock its rival for something that it has not done but its rival has, but eventually following into the same suit. So that would be it for this video, and we hope you liked it. A million thanks to our dear subscriber family for your continuous love and support, and until next time, stay tuned for more.